Hello and welcome. I am in Aizawl, the capital of Mizoram. For me, it's a place where my journey in journalism actually began, and that is why I'm here. And the man who initiated me into what I would say political reporting and now has been my mentor, my friend, is LR Sailo, for information officer, writer, photographer, and a communicator at par. Someone who I've sort of taken guidance from for years together. I am coming to Mizoram after almost a quarter century, I would say, but better late than never, and therefore here I am. And this is what I want to do with LR Sailo, to know his story, because his story is almost parallel to the recent history of Mizoram, from a district headquarter or a district of undivided Assam to union territory, and to a state which has seen the most successful peace accord in India's history. So here we are. Thank you very much, LR. We
Yes.
continue to call you LR, or never
Okay.
LR, sir. So good to be back in Aizawl. But let me
Nice.
begin with your own memories of Mizoram as you saw it in your childhood, and then, of course, we come to your education and the later journey.
Yeah, actually, I was born in North Van High. It's a remote place on the Burma border. That was where my father was posted. He was a doctor, a medical doctor, and the hospital in which I was born, incidentally, is now kept as one of the uh, heritage building because during the war in 1940s, it was bombed by the Japanese.
Oh, I see.
It is still there, you can see. And my, because we were, from there, three of us were born, myself, my two other brothers, and I was the first son to be born. So my father was very happy. From there, we moved to various places, and my mother is also Sailo. She is from Reek, and my grandfather was one of the famous chief among the chief who was interested in uh, environment protection, and he preserved all the forest and fauna of his area, and he's known for that one. And he's also known for his loyalty to the British Empire at that time. I think he was one of the chief who led uh, going around the Union Jack in here in Raj Bhavan in the wartime, and he supported the British soldiers against the Japanese that time by providing food or whatever support he had. And in recognition of that one, he was awarded British Empire Medal, which is, I think, one of the highest decorations that they enbow to. So that is my grandfather. My grandfather from my father's side is a humble chief, not very famous, but he was interested in education of his son. So he actually took special permission from the superintendent at that time to do a little business or thing. So he owned a house in the other end of the thing of Aizawl, where he used to sell salt and other thing, so that he can support my father studying here.
So silos are all chiefs,
Chiefs,
right?
yes, I know chiefs. So my father was able, he did his schooling here in Aizawl, then later on in Shillong for his high school. And then after that, I think he went to Chittagong for his IACC. And after that, he went to the Berry White Medical College in Dibrugarh.
Right.
That's where he finishes what at that time called LMP,
Okay.
licensed practitioner or something
Practitioners,
like
yeah.
that. Then he was posted in Garo Hills for his postdoc, and where he did many works, and then came back to Mizoram.
This was before independence.
Before independence. In 1934, he got married here in Aizawl itself.
I see.
With that the daughter of this chief.
The chief, the famous chief who was a British loyalist.
Yeah, at that time, they used to tell me he got married, but he could not pay the bride price, which is just about 40 rupees, I think, for plus.
Okay.
But so he paid it the balance later on.
I see. Okay, that is interesting, very interesting. But you were born in which year?
1946.
1946, just before 1 year before the independence.
Yeah.
And then you, of course, studied at various schools for a while. But then you finally went to Shillong to study.
Yeah, I studied here till class 4 here in local ME school here. Then I was sent to Shillong. I started there in class 4, the same, I repeated class there.
Right.
Class 4 in St. Anthony's. Then I stayed in Don Bosco Technical School, boarding school, and studied in St. Anthony's.
Right.
And I studied till I passed my matriculation, which was then the Assam board.
Board, yes.
That was in 1966.
Right.
And I managed to get a good first division there. Then, because of insurgency, my mother and all came down to Shillong after my pass matric. In fact, the day we had the examination was the day when the MNF took over the...
In February 1966.
Yeah.
So it's very linked to your life in that sense, that you were doing your exams there, and here there was an uprising in what was then Lushai Hills district.
Yes. Then they came, and then we rented a house. And my father had just retired. He did not come down, but he came a little later. He was about to join the Border Roads Organization as a liaison officer, but he did not join.
Okay.
He came down, and then soon after that he got sick and died in 1967. Then I had just passed my matriculation. Then I had to look for a job.
Right.
I worked in various bookshops and did some typing, because I did my typing in school, so I mastered in Pitman's shorthand and typing.
Right.
So it was not difficult for me to find a job. So I work in...
That was in great demand that time, typing.
Yeah. It was not so difficult. I think we had to go to employment exchange and do the test, and then typing was one of the important factors. So I got a job in government press, LDC, for some time. Then I got offered in Accountant General's office. Then I did not join. Finally, I got in All India Radio as a clerk grade 2. There I work, and I joined there. And at that time, the boss happened to be one Mr. Baveja, who was very much a good friend of Mizoram. And so he took me, and I worked there. And besides the clerical job as a clerk, he made use of me in, like, he used to dictate his book, articles and things like that. And then I was initiated into a communication thing at that time. That was where I began my...
I can see that, but it's I mean, in a way, it's an accident that you became a communicator.
Yeah.
But you had interest in that.
Yeah.
And from what I have seen you now for more than 43 years or 42 years, is that you've always been interested in photography, in writing, in layouts, in printing. You know, so how did that habit and that striving for excellence develop?
Yeah, that actually I did not have camera. Nothing. Actually, we were quite difficult. I cannot afford. So I used to borrow a camera from my friend. My friend, Marwari friends in Shillong.
Okay.
And one of my first assignment as a photographer was when Indira Gandhi came to inaugurate the states of Meghalaya and other places in Shillong. And my friend or my mentor, Pudegnun, was the Deputy Director of Information. He got me a pass. And I had a privilege of climbing on the dais and take photograph. I was so nervous that I took a photograph of Indira Gandhi, but it was blurred, and Professor Swell was clearer.
the chief minister that time.
But then
Professor Swell.
that photograph, I took few photographs, and that photograph in Indira Gandhi in Khasi national dress, traditional dress, sells quite well, and some schools and others bought
That's very
from the
nice.
thing. That is where I began, and then I started taking photographs because I work with Mr. Baveza, so there was some venue of doing it. I supported his articles
Right.
in the Times of India group called Dharmayuk, and he wrote an article called "Aap Mizoram ka baare mein kya jante ho."
Acha.
So that was my first this thing. And with regard to the radio side, since I was in radio, I used to. People don't like to go much out, so They used to give me that tape recorder, the one with the spool,
School, yeah.
and then cover pujas and other things, basketball and other things
Right.
like that. The first memorable interview I had was with Conrad Hunt. Then at that time, I think he was a cricket, West Indies cricket captain.
Oh yes. He was actually a very well-known cricketer.
Yeah, he was also, I think, associated with moral rearmament, with whom I was associated at that time. That is where I actually began this thing. Later on with Himat and other.
Himmat, of course. Himmat was a magazine for the people who don't know. That was edited.
Raj Gandhi, yes.
Yes.
Which is then closed during the emergency.
Emergency, yes. So I was just going to say that most people would not know about Himmat. But when did you transition from, say, being a communicator and photographer and all that into a government job?
Oh, government job. Yeah, I was actually, after that, during that time, my college education, I'll just say, I had to go, I went to St. Edmunds for my pre-university.
Right. And this was simultaneously
Daytime, yes, that time.
Yes,
At that time, my father was in hospital, so
Right.
I managed. And then after that, when I passed PU, I joined St. Anthony's night. Then I was working daytime.
Okay.
Then nighttime, also later on, I teach in St. Anthony's night thing.
Wow. Okay.
Then I did my economics honors. Somehow I managed.
Right.
Then after that, as a graduate, I continued to teach in St. Anthony's daytime till 1970.
Okay.
1970, though, I took leave from the school. Then on the invitation of Raj Gandhi and others, we traveled to Europe for almost 6 months. I came back and joined again. Then during that time, I came to Aizawl for a holiday.
Right.
And there was a walk-in interview for District Information and Public Relations.
I see.
I also just walked in that. Somehow they took me. That is where I began.
With so much of experience, they had to take you. I mean, there was no question, as I can see.
No, then I had that appointment came after 3 months of the interview.
Okay.
My parents were a little reluctant to allow me to join the job because at that time was still insurgency was going on.
Still on. And this is year 1970?
1970.
70.
70,
Okay.
yes.
70. Okay.
Oh, wait. No, 1973.
3. Yeah.
73.
Right.
And then they did not want. They actually pressed me very hard for appearing in the UPSC exams. But of course, that one I knew even right from the beginning that this was not the job, the kind of job that was made for. So I was not doing any serious efforts towards that myself.
Okay.
But I joined this. Then it came after 3 months, and I convinced them, and I joined because I had to look after my family,
Right.
and then I cannot delay anymore. And also we have got property here to look after.
Sure.
So I joined, and that time there were no Directorate of Information and Public Relations.
Sure.
It was led by a special officer called Mr. Tanzona. So I joined as a young officer in District Information and Public Relations officer in Aizawl. And since then I remained in Aizawl all my Kerala. I did not go to other places. Yeah.
No, but you actually, by remaining in Aizawl, you've done so much of wonderful work, because from District Information Officer, and now let me come to our first meeting in January 1984.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because by that time, I think when I came here, I came to Kashinath Hazarika,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
who
yeah.
was the State Bank of India manager, and
Yeah.
he sent me to you. And you took me to, apart from other things, you took me to then Chief Minister Brigadier Sailo. If you can recall, if you want to,
Yes, I
how we met and
yeah,
what happened that time.
I remember. He was also new to media relations,
Right.
and uh, so he doesn't know really also. But so he, I remember you came, and then he asked you to. He asked certain questions, and after that he got a little irritated, I think so. And then
He did.
he asked me to take you out, and then we gave you some books. I remember what book I gave you. I don't
No, so
remember.
you also sent me to the library,
Oh,
the
library,
district library,
district library.
and
Acha,
you
acha.
gave me some books about history of Mizoram.
Yeah. That was the first time we met.
Yes. Yeah. So Brigadier Silo, he came into politics after a stint in the army, after retiring from the army.
Yeah.
What are your memories of him as a person, as a politician, as someone who was actually brought up in the army but also became a politician?
Yeah, I think he was very strict army officer. That is what I know him because he was my guardian in school,
Ah, okay.
and I did my matriculation from his house with his sons and all. No, so I knew how strict he was. As a politician, I really do not know. But after he retired, he started that human rights movement, no, in Mizoram, to fight against the atrocities committed by the
Security
army.
forces in
I
the army.
think that organization called Human Rights became into a political
Right.
party. That was all. I was not very cautious about politics,
But
really
how was he
speaking.
as a boss?
Huh?
As a boss, when you worked for him?
Oh yeah, it's very nice, organized, and listening, understanding. At the beginning, of course, he looked at me with a lot of suspicion because of my connections in the previous government, which were there, and where I have also my relations there. So I mean, like he has never been in politics, so he took that kind of thing seriously. But later on, he adopted himself
Right.
very well, and he had also faced many problems during that time. No, he was imprisoned, and he
Yes.
came out. Also, he had got many reasons to be bitter.
That's true, but I think my first interview of any chief minister was with him, so I have very fond memories. And you organized that in 1984.
Yes, yes.
But let's jump to the year of the peace accord, or 1 year before the peace accord, and that's where another, I would say, association grew with Pool Althanawla.
Yeah.
Because of you, and he was the chief minister when the Mizo peace accord process gathered speed. Tell me a little more about, or your memory of how this accord came through, and what was the feeling in Mizoram that time amongst people, what they wanted. 20 years of insurgency had happened already.
Yeah, yeah. When the peace accord was announced, no, or before it was
Before,
announced,
yeah.
I think there were a lot of expectation, suspicion, a lot of doubts entertained both in the national media, also here, no, and how they would be received, etc., etc. They were very much there, and some of the people also thought that some reports which appeared in the newspaper were planted by me. Uh, those things which were against the Congress, they said that he's still influenced by my previous boss and things like that. So that was a kind of thing that I had to face many times.
That's right.
But then later on, I get very well along with the government of the day always. For
Right.
some time, when the government changed, I used to be on probation for 1 or 2 months or 3 months like that.
But you later became the director of information and
Yes, yes,
public
yes, yes, yes.
relations.
I rose from director, then deputy director, then joint director on this thing.
That's right. No, so what are your memories of the accord signing and the return of all the underground
Oh,
people?
yes. When the accord was signed, it was there are many actually stories about this thing, and then we were all expecting, and they were vigil in Congress Bhavan, waiting, people waiting. Uh, there are many stories told about that one. Then when it was announced, sudden erupt of this thing, everybody was coming out, enjoying and going and making all the noise that was possible.
That's right.
And they even threw some gelatin inside this compound. That kind of a story were there.
Right.
Then following that one, a group of pressmen and other people came. Even before that one, no.
Sure.
Then I don't remember whether that announcement. Then that was followed by the coming out of the rebels with their coffin and all that thing, as you
Right.
would have seen in the
Yes.
photograph. No,
That's right.
those were a great joy,
Sure.
a great thing for them.
So I think all people, this is, and why it is said that it is the most successful peace accord is because the entire society accepted it.
Yes, 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 yes. I think the entire society has accepted. The church, I think, was very instrumental in influencing the public opinion in that one. No, and I think it is one accord where everybody and the surrender is total
Total, correct. Everyone came over ground.
out of that.
Everyone came over ground.
Since then, I think we become the most peaceful state so far.
True. And so, again, I want to go back to your main focus on communication. I have seen you do films on documentaries on the peace accord, the later part of the implementation of the peace accord. You have done a number of books on all that. You've done allowed and facilitated so many of us to come and do stories, meet people like you are doing now after so many years. So, what is your basic philosophy of communication? Because for today's world needs to know that communication is still important.
Very, very important. And visuals. Of course, writing books as such, I don't write,
Yeah.
but mostly documenting what other people do. That is what I try to do. And also, facilitating is one thing I think I
That's right.
have learned in my career as a public, because I think what the press people need is to facilitate them.
Sure.
To say we cannot control them, not even cultivating them is relevant. Huh?
True.
That is not right and very insulting.
Yes.
So I think the best thing I think one as a PR man can do is that we must facilitate, and that's all that we can do.
True.
Then, as you also have written rightly so, and as your first experience, I think background checkup is very, very important.
Extremely important.
And also study.
And interest and passion, I think.
Yeah.
And you have actually your facilitation went beyond the normal, fixing appointments and others. You actually gave me at least the historical perspective. You gave me, a kind of understanding of the society, which makes the job much easier for people like me who came for the first time and later kept on coming. My association and my friendship with people here like you and others has always been because of the warmth that I received from you and others.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, right. I think those days our experience was many a journalists come, they stay for 2-3 days without even properly studying. They go back and claim they're experts on on Mizoram and notice. I think there are many of them,
Oh, yes.
and they don't last.
They don't, yes.
And there are a few people who last. No,
Right.
like I think you, for instance, like Subir Bhomik and few others. No,
Yes.
then I think
And your friend Sanjay Hazarika?
Sanjay Hazarika, of course, and then like this fellow also Randeep, that fellow one who is with NDTV now.
Oh, yes.
He has been there. I knew him as a Tehelka fellow.
Right.
Just a thing. I think he's got a science background.
Science,
He met
yes.
me several times there, but I think he's
Yeah.
doing all right.
Correct.
Yes, yes.
That's what. No, I think that's what is unique about Mizoram. I used to always say, because I used to tour the northeast when I was based in Guwahati, that the facilitation and the help that you got here after you got here really helped people like me to do stories which you wanted to do and not just skim the surface.
Yeah,
You know, and that is what is, I think, the hallmark of a great communicator.
Then, of course, my experience of that one has been sort of formalized or given academic angle when I joined the Indian Institute of Mass Communication as a teacher.
That's the next chapter.
Yeah, that is the next step.
Yes.
And I had shared many this thing, though I do not have much uh, academic education in that line, but I think sharing my experience is a good thing for the students as far as communications and PR is concerned. And I too myself have learned quite a lot.
You've kept up with the times, you know, the new
With the
technology,
times, I think.
the new
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah.
And I think IIMC Aizawl campus is doing very well.
So far, I think we did it. We started with a student of 6 students, and all of them are doing well. Uh, they are into a good job now. One is employed here in Dooderson for many years now. She's handling the social media, and then she's in the desk.
Right.
And then another girl is doing her. She did her after going there. She did her master in history archaeology, but she went into a communication site. And then another girl is. She got into public relations postgraduate in California. And she got married there. She's doing that. All of them are doing well.
That's very nice. So, one final thought from you on what qualities you would like, even in today's world of social media, limited attention spans, what does a good communicator need to have? What qualities or what attributes, even in today's world of, you know, hyper attention or hyper sensitivity that people have?
Firstly, I think you can run away from honesty. Honesty, I think, is most important thing, and you must respect the truth. And then also learning to, in order to communicate properly, we must get a feedback and then give out also. I think this is where one should put an importance to it.
True.
And if we do that one, and also respect the truth, no? That I think that is. But the rest of the things, so technology is important.
Yes. But the basic approach is extremely important, of honesty, sincerity,
Of honesty, sincerity.
and looking for the right truth, really.
Yeah, right, truth.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you very much, LR. I think wonderful to have talked to you and, you know, renewed my association with you. Of course, we've been in touch with each other on the phone, but it's so good to be back in Aizawl and sitting with you like this and seeing you relaxed and absolutely, you know, content with what you're doing. I can only wish you good health and long life, and of course continue to teach generations of communicators and students like you have done with me and others. Thank you.
Thank you.